Mosquito stages have been known to cause ongoing confusion or death. So if you cannot understand this message, then maybe why.
Everyone all right?
Tool is comprised of 99% plastic, 0.5% steel, and 0.5% carbonated sugary beverage. Trace amounts of kerosene, alcohol, hydrazine, and liquid hydrogen also detected.
What did you find, Cap?
This mosquito fiasco wasn't an accident, huh?
Slug runs the hotels. And the spaceport. And Law knows what else. So that don't exactly narrow it down.
Ready when you are.
The brochure never mentioned anything about Waspito attacks.
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double. Oh, what? Next stop.
I understand there was an incident at the orchards. The pollination cycle began without my authorization. Fortunately, you managed to save most of the hive. The Waspkitos are essential to the orchards, you see. Losing them would have cost us months of production. The orchards can be a dangerous place, but my workers understand the hazards. Something about this incident troubles me. The circumstances are suspicious. But let's concentrate on the matter at hand. Have you discovered anything? You have my attention. That's deeply upsetting. Dr. Leora Blossom was an extraordinary scientist and a friend. We have a murderer on the loose, Inspector, as if the death of Halcyon Helen wasn't enough of a blow to our facility. Her commitment to her NDA was admirable. I'll make sure to accelerate the payout of her death benefits to her next of kin. Interesting. The Rizzo's family is a small family, Inspector. Most of us recognize one another. Still, any information is good information. It troubles me to believe Leora could have been murdered by one of our own. If there's anything else you'd like to share, you have my attention. Insisted. That's interesting. We'd scheduled a tour of the lab for Helen. Purely a public relations event to be held sometime in the indeterminate future. Then again, Helen and I were not well acquainted. I can't speak to her intentions. Little of consequence. We'd tour the grounds, pause at some locations appropriate for a portrait, let her shake hands with our scientists. Public relations. A picnic? I don't recall approving a private social gathering at the orchards. I'll have to make a note of this information. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Was there anything else? This incident at the orchards must be connected to Helen's murder somehow. I don't know how, but I feel it in my marrow. My apologies, Inspector. This case is under your jurisdiction, not mine. I leave it in your hands. When you're ready, I suggest a word with the hotel coroner. She should have finished her autopsy by now.
The misguided individual rifle.
Oh, sweet gibbering law. Where'd you come from? Sorry, let me just get back in character. Whoa, 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 it's not what it looks like. I'm the mascot for the Rizzo's Rangers, 3-time non-consecutive All-Halcyon champions. And what I want is to wish you a good day and be on my way. I seem to have wandered into the wrong premises. I have mistaken this penthouse for the Rizzo's Rangers locker room on account of my headgear cutting off my peripheral vision. Fair enough. You seem pretty decent. Also, you're guarding the only way out. I am acting on behalf of Mr. Black Hole Birdie, the Holmeister, the Hack Attack. I don't have a lot of time, but Mr. Birdie sent me to retrieve a message, something he recorded for Ms. Bellamy while he was off his kilter. It's extremely difficult for me to tell you no. In fact, I'm experiencing enormous mental anguish right now. Will you meet me later, over at the pilot house? I swear, from the bottom of my employment contract, I will tell you everything I know about Ms. Bellamy's demise. What? But I can't? Please don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I can't. Not here. I'm sorry. The Pilot House complex. Meet me there, and I'll tell you everything, I swear.
Aha! Oh, what authorized? To the lobby.
What could that have been?
Here they come!
Oh, look here. I could use a new pair of glasses.
Hey, you look like you need some stuff. Fancy watch? Spare cufflink? Single earring? You want it, I've got it. Junk. My friend, this is not junk. These are people's prized possessions. Priceless personal effects, beloved souvenirs and knickknacks. Huh? Oh, well, some of the guests left this stuff behind. Take a look for yourself. Me? Oh, sure. Terrific. Never better. And as soon as I pay off my docking fines, I'll be back on my feet and in my ship. So it turns out Slug has some pretty strict rules on vehicle docking, and I may have broken a few of them. Who'd think Slug would be so strict? Let's see. There's docking without prior authorization, double docking, docking into adjacent vessels, docking while under the influence of alcohol, docking while under the influence of caffeinoids, and loitering. And that reminds me that I've got delinquency fees accruing on top of the original docking fines, which is why I'm hoping you'll purchase my fine wares.
Weren't you looking for a new hat?
Indeed. And that looks...
He's not in the museum.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Discrepancy detected. Rizzo's company policy clearly states that all proprietary mascots must exhibit signs of physical life. Excellent observation, Inspector. Have you deduced a possible cause of death? Unusually small entry wounds indicate exotic weaponry. Closest approximations are 1. Incident involving a game of darts. 2. The Needler. Yes, Inspector. The Needler. Bespoke handgun carried and wielded by Halcyon Helen. Famously deployed by Halcyon Helen in Terror on Monarch. This weapon was responsible for executing the Chief of the Savages, played by Spencer Woolridge. This unit is incapable of providing ethical advice. This unit is also incapable of answering rhetorical questions. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This empty bottle of spirits does not belong to any known corporate brand. Suspicious residue detected. Excellent deduction, Inspector. Imbibing of unauthorized beverages is strictly prohibited under Rizzo's company law. Ingredients include antiseptic alcohol, sucrose, and unidentifiable miscellaneous organic material. Closest match. Counterfeit spirits available at the Piraeus spaceport.
Wish I had a telescope like this back in the Vale. Of course, the company probably would have scrapped it for parts.
Rizzo's knock you out for
me? Something's fun! You frown at me?
Inspector, good to see you. Let me just grant you access and... Welcome to the Piraeus spaceport.
I don't like the way...
Hey, you! We've been looking for you, and by we, I mean Slug. Been real busy sniffing around Eridanos for clues, haven't you, Inspector? See, Sluglight Underground don't like that much.
If you had anything to do with Sublight, you'd have started shooting about 12 words ago.
Should have kept your nose where it belonged, Inspector. Slug's sick of all your meddling in their affairs. Our affairs, I mean. We're... Draw, you damn breadworm, draw! What? No, it isn't. Oh, forgot to put the clip in. There we go. Listen, I could still take you. Don't question my competence. What? No, my head feels great. And once I don't have 6 tongues, I'll tell you what I think of your slander. Now stop moving around so much. Oh, wait. I am high on adrenatime. Maybe this was all a bad idea. Hey, any chance we could reschedule? Yeah, maybe do this whole showdown business, never? You don't need to tell us twice. Come on, all. Let's get the hell out of here.
Greetings, non-criminally associated individual. The Rizzo's constabulary is currently not closed due to a Sprat infestation. Bureaucratic processes are currently suspended. At present, criminal reports do not require paperwork. Please lament only in marked lamentation zones. Please speak clearly into this unit's recording instruments. Error. Unit designation no longer wine taster. Unit designation now deputy. While potential lethality of unit instrumentation bears towards 95%, violent utilization of equipment would void unit warranty. All Rizzo's constabularies must include at least one deputy constable among the pool of available Rizzo's employee candidates. This unit was considered the most competent. Unit does not have a favorite wine. Unit is incapable of taste. How may this unit be of service to you? Checking logs. Error. Informational limitations found. 2. Reciting limitation 1. Do not tell users about constabulary Sprat infestation. We do not need to pay the health inspector's bribe. A third time limitation 2. Do not read informational limitations aloud, especially not to any of those void-damned snot-nosed guests, or I'll have you sold for parts.
if I made a bet with you at the Copper Bottom last night, let's call it off now. I can't stand the taste of life's grass.
I'm a criminal, get it? They don't let me talk to law-abiding If you ain't a constable, then we ain't got nothing to discuss.
Reminds me of a rose. Just a bit.
Hello. Welcome to Aridano's Dry Goods and Sundry, the most standard and unremarkable general store this side of Halcyon. I'm marketeer Joseph Dempsey, here to make your shopping experience as pleasant and normal as possible. Hey, folks take a lot of comfort in knowing their neighborhood general store is unchanging, eternal, like the land beneath their feet or the air in their lungs. Whoops, forgot I ain't supposed to poeticize on work time. The drab nature of our store profits is what I meant. Now, can I sell you anything?
Buy a bunk, huh?
Could I talk to you for
I
a second?
think I'll stick to my cabin, thanks.
Haven't seen you around before, but that ain't no problem. All are welcome at the Copper Bottom Cantina, so long as their bits are good, huh? Can I get you something? Yeah, so you noticed that I'm a little off-kilter, huh? Damn if it ain't been a while. I'm too old to run around anymore, but in my heyday, I used to play for the Rangers. Position? I don't know. Got hit in the melon a lot, so I ain't the best in the memory department. Actually happened so often it became a specialty of mine. Yep, Ernest the Bean Padilla, they called me. At least I think that's what they called me. League leader in hit by serves 2 years in a row. Folks started competing to see how many times they could hit me in a match. Called it quits not long after that. Ain't safe to take that many blows to the head. I came out to coach the Rangers during training camp, but after a while I had trouble remembering which player was which. Slug lets me bartend instead of recommending me for early retirement, for which I'm most grateful. I'd hate lying around like a deadbeat. Absolutely. I know things can get rough, but I've had a more decent life than I've had any right to. Thanks for reliving the old days with me. Anyhow, I think I've talked plenty now. Is there something I can get you? Nah. No, but some folks have been saying there was some kind of fight between a mechanical and some spacers last night. I didn't see it myself, and seems far-fetched. Deputy Wine Taster ain't exactly prone to wandering, nor are most other mechanicals that I'm aware of. There's a new Void Dan burn on my nice clean floor, but I think it's the doing of one of my customers.
What do you want? Shh! Not so loud!
How'd you know it was me? That's what the disguise is for. I'm in no mood to sign autographs, and I hate disappointing fans. So I'm lying low. You know, incompleto. Oh, yeah, I guess it's kinda neato. Oh, what's it matter? Helen's gone. She's gone and nothing I do will bring her back. I've been trying to find who did this. That's what she would do. Track down the killer and bring them to justice. But I'm stumped. And not very clever. Being bright was always Helen's thing.
Oh, so you're the inspector!
Hope you have more luck figuring things out than me. You probably want to ask me some questions, huh? I'm sure you're asking everybody questions, so you can find Helen's killer. So, how do I help? I was getting blotto with the rest of the Rangers. You know, soaked, muddled, preserved.
Blutered, half shot, void lush, on the Byzantine swizzle, starry. 1 bit down, 3 bits up, spread across the spectrum. Top heavy. Should I go on? Drunk, Captain.
The team noticed I was in a bad way when I got back to the hotel. When I told them Helen and I were Splitsville, they wanted to cheer me up. We were up the pole afore evening. The hotel staff said we was bothering the other guests on account of all the crying and yelling and practice body tackling. Zeke said we should move elsewhere, get some air. We ended up at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. I think somebody wanted to pet a woolly cow? There was this one cow off away from the others. Zeke figured it'd be a laugh to get her drunk. One thing led to another, and I think we might have maybe, you know, stolen her. I don't know. We were drunk, and we made bad choices. She was all alone. I know how that feels now. It's so hard to be all by your lonesome. My memory's a little muddled after that. I guess me and the team got split up, because I know I was on my own at the pilot house for a time. I reckon not. See, I went to the weather station. I was looking for where Helen stashed her datapad for safekeeping, right? She'd asked me to get it, mind. I wasn't stealing. I'm no thief. Sure did. Only there was a guard out there who found me. She started yelling about how I was trespassing and in serious trouble. Thing is, it was real dark out there. So dark, she couldn't tell who I was. Long story short, I got out of there. Ran like the Rangers were down by 3, and I just bronzed the toss ball in the Friday zone. I didn't know where I was going, but my legs took me straight to my friend's... to my... fridge-rator. I don't want to tell you. I'll get in trouble. Look, I talked to Auric, okay? Auric West. Hangs out around the spaceport. He's the one who taught me the breathing exercises I use to calm down. Confidant is like confidence. What's torrid mean? Don't get the wrong idea, okay? Auric's not a bad guy. He's just got an unusual job. So now you have the whole story. After I talked to Auric, I went back to the hotel. Woke up the next morning with Helen's data pad in my hand and the hangover to end all hangovers. Don't know if I'll ever drink again. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you'll probably want to... Yeah, of course. Of course. Helen sure did have the prettiest handwriting. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Sorry. Here you go, Inspector. Hopefully they make more sense to you. I couldn't make heads or tails of them. Either she was writing in code or I'm dumber than a bag of hammers. I tried for hours to crack her notes, but it's like I said. Being bright was Helen's thing. Okay. And listen, I want to help you find her killer, Inspector. I knew Helen better than anybody. And it could be handy to have a guy like me around, in case anybody gives you trouble. I get it. I'll head back to the Grand Colonial then. Unless you need me for anything else? What do you... What about her? Look, you and me, we both know I'm a big, dumb tossball star, right? That's what I'm good at. Rizzo's knows it. The fans know it. Helen, she saw me as more than that. She saw someone who had more to offer than big muscles and a signature black hole stomp. Being with Helen was magic. She was magic. There ain't good enough words for something as special as what we had together. I wish I knew. Must have been something I did. At the picnic, Helen just kept saying she didn't want to drag me into her world. Maybe one of the higher-ups in motion pictures was giving her trouble over us? I don't know. I tried to understand, but I don't. Rival actresses, maybe? I don't know too much about the motion picture industry. Except for Helen's pictures, obviously. Those I probably know by heart. Seen them about 100 times each. What do you want to know? Yeah? Auric's a businessman. He sells stuff you can't get elsewhere. You know, alternative stuff. We're talking sort of science, crockery, whole supplements. Maybe putting effort accelerators in your body isn't always the right call, you know? Maybe there are other options. Maybe I don't take all the accelerators Rizzo's pushes on me. Oh, yeah. I'd appreciate that. Yeah? Auric hangs around the spaceport most days. Since he's not here at the bar, he's most likely over by the buy-up bunks at the shipping yard. I remember sending her the recording, but... Law, I was halfway to preserved by then. I don't know what was on it. When I realized what I'd done, I panicked. If I'd said something dumb, folks might think I was involved in her death. I was scared of looking suspicious. You listened to it? What'd I say to Helen? Did I sound drunk? Thank the architect. I hope she heard it. I don't want the last time she heard my voice to be when I was all angry at the orchards. Tossball was, is, and always will be the greatest game in the universe. And I would give it up in a heartbeat to have Helen back.
This port seems real busy. I wonder if they're trying to compete with the Groundbreaker.
Hey there. You looking to unwind, friend? Maybe you're on your way to the bar for a good time? Maybe you're interested in something a little better than beer or Adreno? Something with a little more kick? The name's Auric. I deal in, shall we say, holistic pharmaceuticals, natural substances and the like. You know, alternative stuff. I know. Ooh, it came out of the ground. That's where worms live. I get it. I do. Why go for that homegrown shit when you could be pumping your body full of effort accelerators? Says it right on the Auntie Cleo's box. Better than nature, right? Well, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, pal. Those pharmaceuticals the corporations manufacture, not all of them are as good for you as the board wants you to believe. Alternatives. That's the way to go, pal. Trust me. No matter what ails you, I got what you need. What do I sell? I've got premium shit, my friend. Vitamins like you wouldn't believe. Calcium, vitamin D, reverse vitamin D. I got everything, my friend. You got stress problems? I got stress solutions. Aromatherapy. Eases the mind. Diluted Mantisaur essence. Best kept secret in the business. And if you're a real freak, techniques to calm yourself by fooling your own mind. If they can tame the rage of a certain well-known tossball star, they can help anybody. Wait, you ain't a sheriff, right? You gotta tell me if you're a sheriff. Works for me. Yeah, I know, Birdie. What do you want to know? Yeah, that was me. Birdie's got a temper, but he's not a bad kid, you know? He's trying to work on it. He may or may not buy alternatives from me from time to time. A little diluted Mantisaur essence here, a little vitamin B negative there. He's stressed out of his mind, the poor guy. Everyone knows his name. Can't turn around without having to sign an autograph. Then you throw in playing postball for a living. Violence like that, it does things to a body. It does things to the head. Come on. Birdie's a damn good hacker, but taking that many blows to the noggin would scramble anyone's upstairs business. I know it's knocked a few of his memories loose. I worry about him, that's all. He's a good kid. Got a good heart. Yeah. Damn shame about that. Birdie thought the world of Helen, you know. He showed up drunk at my place wanting to talk about the breakup. Helen dumped him, he said. Boy, was he in a bad way. I'd never seen him like that before. We talked for a while, and when he felt better, I sent him back to the hotel. Told him to drink more water and get some sleep. What can I do, you Sure.
You one of the new workers? A lost tourist? Wait, I don't care. Just don't knock anything over. Hey, if it meant I could ignore my work, I'd let you talk to me about Sprat reproductive practices. Ask away. This terminal makes it pretty easy to match a ship's cargo to its manifest. If it ain't on the terminal, then it's someone else's problem. Nothing. I just hate working. Figured it wouldn't last. Anything else?
Hope you've been enjoying your stay.
Aha! Oh, what up? Next stop.
Inspector. I'm pleased to hear that. Bertie Holcomb is a valuable asset to the Rizzo's Rangers property. When Helen was murdered, Bertie was nowhere to be found. The timing of his disappearance is unfortunate. That's ominous. Bertie Holcomb. How have you gone and complicated my life this time? I wasn't aware Bertie was involved in contraband. What kind of dealer are we talking about? Every ranger is contractually obligated to medicate themselves with company-approved stimulants. Are you telling me Black Hole Bertie has been playing clean all these years? Huh, that's impressive. A breach of contract, but impressive. Be plain with me, Inspector. Do you believe Black Hole Bertie killed Helen? Understood. I appreciate your candor. I'd like you to continue your investigation. Notify me as soon as you're ready to make a formal accusation. I appreciate that. I'd rather keep Bertie within the public eye than let him languish in a bar at the docks. If you're through investigating Bertie, I recommend looking into Cedric Kincannon. He's been entirely too comfortable since we began this investigation. I don't trust Cedric when he's comfortable.
Oh,
I don't know what that makes up like the ground. Or you, slug.
Appointment. Yeah, that's why you're here. Appointment. Not entirely out of the question. Convince me. Wouldn't mind a new bolter pistol. I've fired mine so many times, the tips nearly fell off. Let's give Mr. Kincannon a ring. Mr. Kincannon, got a person of interest here to see you. Think they've got business.
That sounds like our inspector. Please, send her up.
Why, if it isn't the inspector, I was hoping you'd swing by.
Here for my alibi, I assume? Let's see. That night, I was... torturing Elliot Nasser for information on missing cargo. That was a messy one. Didn't break until nearly noon the next day. Can you imagine? An excellent question. I had his body dropped off the edge of the land complex. I'm not sure what happened to it from there, scientifically speaking. Maybe it dissolved? Ultimately, though, it doesn't matter. You'd be a fool to believe me, regardless of what I told you. People lie, and I am, incriminatingly, people. It's as I said. You shouldn't. If it helps, however, you might consider pursuing not my means, but my motive. Why in the name of the architect would I kill Halcyon Helen? She was making me a fortune. I'm considering a line of commemorative merchandise. Still, that's nothing compared to what Helen would have made us in the long run. I'd offer to assist you in your work, but I've a mystery of my own to solve, I'm afraid. You may very well want to. This particular trouble strikes me as not unrelated to your investigation. Items are disappearing from Slug's storage and processing warehouse. The thefts began a week before Helen's unfortunate death, and there have been more instances since. Before you ask, I know the difference between cargo going missing and cargo going missing. This is the latter. I'm not sure. I'm only confident there is one. That the thefts began mere days before Helen's untimely demise is an extraordinary coincidence. I'm not a man who believes in happenstance, Inspector. I do not trust it. I certainly wouldn't take that bet. Regardless, this will be fun. You out in the field, chasing down leads. Me, scheming in my office, preparing to unspeakably mangle the perpetrator. Really, Inspector, no need to flatter me. I assure you, you're already very much in my good graces. You'll want to speak with Ella Tinsley, the warehouse foreman. I've cleared her as a suspect myself, but should she refuse to cooperate, shoot her. No, I'm joking. If she won't cooperate, tell me and I will shoot her. And do feel free to search my office for clues while you're here. Don't hold back on my account. Was there something else you wanted to discuss? Very well. A few. Helen was strangely curious about the private business operations around Eridanos. She said it was role research, but how much business know-how does one actor truly need for an action picture? I also arranged to have Helen supplied with mag picks, bypass shunts, and other hacking tools. She wanted to buy in bulk. Because she paid me to, Inspector. Besides, Helen was enjoyable company. She was confident, resourceful, determined, not unlike you, now that I consider it. That is the question, isn't it, Inspector? Tell me, do you really believe Helen's death was a mere crime of passion? Or one of petty career jealousy? A smart approach, Inspector. And yet, this murder is bigger than Miss Helen's personal life. Bigger than her latest moving picture. Indeed. I suspect Helen arrived on Eridanos with grander plans than promoting Spectrum Brown. I knew I was right about you being clever, Inspector. I'm glad. Because whoever did kill Helen is not going to come forward so easily. I just might. Your point, Inspector? Am I an official suspect, then? Intriguing. I'll look forward to how it all plays out. Be very careful, Inspector. I'd very much like to see you still around for the grand finale, whenever it comes, whatever shape it takes. One moment. What, or who, made you decide to investigate me? Understandable. A man of my standing would naturally be tied up in all this, whether he wishes to be or not. Now then, did you need anything else? Bar fight? Drunk Raptidons? Black Hole Birdie practicing his hacking in the middle of the street? Stop me if it's one of those, or I'll just keep guessing.
Did you now? You're confident they were slug agents and not, I don't know, hired thugs in stolen uniforms? I'm a very specific man. It tends to invite specific problems. The real question is, why would someone want thugs to get their hands on slug gear?
I suspect you're right.
But I can't fathom who would benefit from tarnishing my reputation like that. Can you? You said it, not me.
So, as you've deduced, I did not send anyone from Slug after you, nor is it likely they assigned themselves that task. Still, I am sorry for the trouble, Inspector. With that matter settled, is there anything else you'd like my assistance with? The original incident? Well, I made him an offer he should have refused. An excellent deduction, Inspector. Our combative relationship stems from paperwork, mundanely enough. Rizzo's contracted Sublight to construct the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Had Lou wanted Rizzo's to retain full control of Eridanos, he shouldn't have skimmed the revised contract I sent him. Lou's an administrator, for law's sake. I thought he would adore all the fine print I added. My power grab, as Lou called it, planted the seed of hatred. And Lou, obsessed with what should have been, has made sure to water it daily with his bitterness and anger. Alas, I can't. I am, first and foremost, the head of Slug, and it simply wouldn't be good for business. Slug's control of Eridanos is a crucial step in my long-term plans for Sublight. The board needs to see irrefutable proof we are a respectable, legitimate business. Because one day soon, Sublight will obtain a seat on it. Meanwhile, our dear administrator is still laser-focused on old slights, which can be a nuisance. He's grown increasingly desperate to catch Slug with our hand in the proverbial cookie jar as of late, convinced we're involved in less than legal business opportunities. Continue investigating, Inspector. I'm afraid you'll find both you and Ludovico will be disappointed in that regard. Very well. All right. The original... Oh, no, not like that. Our combative relationship stems from paperwork. Had Lou wanted Rizzo's to retain full control of Eridanos, he shouldn't have skimmed the revised contract I sent him. Lou's an administrator, for law's sake. I thought he would adore all the fine print I added. Think of it this way. It was a test, and he failed. It was all perfectly legal, too, which irked Lou to no end. My power grab, as Lou called it, planted the seed of hatred. And Lou, obsessed with what should have been, has made sure to water it daily with his bitterness and anger. Do you think power belongs to those who submit the proper paperwork requesting it? Slug's control of Eridanos is a crucial step in my long-term plans for Sublight. The board needs to see irrefutable proof we are a respectable, legitimate business. Oh, that does sound fun, though. Is securing a board seat for Sublight evil enough? Surely we can at least agree that it's grand. Meanwhile, our dear administrator is still laser-focused on old slights, which can be a nuisance. He's grown increasingly desperate to catch Slug with our hand in the proverbial cookie jar as of late, convinced we're involved in less than legal business opportunities. Not in front of witnesses, I didn't. The original... Intimidation has its role in diplomacy. Still, his choice to work with Sublight was indeed a choice. Our combative relationship stems from... Had Lou... Still technically visible to the human eye, but only just. You're quite good at this. It was all perfectly legal, too, which irked Lou to no end. My power grab... Oh, I'm not an innocent party here. Please don't think I'm claiming to be. Provoking Lou may be fun, but Slug's control of... Our dear administrator is certainly determined to not make that task an easy one. He's grown increasingly desperate to catch Slug with our hand in the proverbial cookie jar as of late, convinced we're involved in less than legal business opportunities. I wish I could wink, but it always looks like I have something caught in my eye.
That's a lot of containers. Is this just a distribution center, or do you think they're planning something?
Hi there! Sorry, this area is off limits to port vision... Oh, wait half a second. You're the inspector. Sorry about that. I'll buzz you right in. Look around, ma'am.
Hey, you think they keep any spare parts down here? Just wondering. You're the inspector, aren't you? Boss Kincannon said you'd be by about the cargo that's been going missing. Gosh, this is so neat. A real-life inspector. What's that like? Have you solved any mysteries yet? Ever had to shoot a suspect? Well, yeah, but they weren't suspects. Right, so the missing cargo. How can I help your investigation? That's the weird part. There's no pattern, far as I can tell. The thefts don't make sense. I ask you, who would steal a handful of Spacer's Choice Sabers, so dull they can barely cut mud, but leave the spectrum black? Ugh. Who'd be desperate enough to want to steal a Spacer's Choice Saber, full stop? No one's dumb enough to think Spacer's Choice Sabers are worth half a damn. Then there's the most recent theft, 5 boxes of pens and a couple of sodas. I can't decide which one's sadder. Well, I'm no inspector. If there is one, I'm sure you'll find it. Everyone here at Freight Storage and Processing, for a start. Thing is, the cargo is going missing before the shipments even get to the warehouse. Best I can figure, it's probably getting lost in the shipping yard. As for who has access there, Benton Chan, he's the shipping yard manager, he told me it's mainly just the loading automechs that handle cargo. Could be. Those things'll break if you so much as look at them funny. That's Benton's area, but don't bother asking him for help. Last time I asked him to check the automechs, the hull head told me he couldn't help because he was dead. It won't bother him any if you have a look yourself, though. Hopefully, you're mechanically inclined. Oh, before I forget, I figured you might want to access my terminal, so I had a spare keycard made. It's all yours. Oh no, I forgot to delete all of those incriminating messages I sent about which cargo to steal. Nah, I do have a list of cargo that's gone missing though, if that helps any.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This copy of TK contains 142 fewer pages than a standard copy. The missing pages were likely removed to create sufficient space for the hidden listening device inside.
You figured that out just by looking at it? Huh. We ought to talk shop one of these days.
Inspector, please consider speaking into the device in order to trace the transmission and reveal the receiver's location. Poor woolly cow impression transmitted. Transmission analysis complete. While the precise location of the receiver could not be pinpointed, it has been narrowed down to a smaller, approximate range. Analysis inconclusive. However, there is a minor accumulation of dust particles present on the book's uppermost surface. The area within a 0.5 meter radius of the book possesses a dust coating comprised of at least twice the number of particles. That is highly likely, Inspector.
What's that you found? No, wait, don't tell me. Let's save it for the big reveal once you've solved it.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Transmission endpoint discovered. The receiver in this book matches the transmitter to the listening device found in Cedric's office. It's somewhat grime-covered. Due to the high level of foot traffic in this area, this unit is unable to determine who placed the device. Based on the accumulated mix of sludge and detritus, the receiver has been present since approximately a week before Helen's death. Timeline discrepancy. Inspector, this loading automechanical's programming does not match factory default settings. The standard defensive protocol has been modified to include an additional trigger. For Type K-19 cargo transport automechanicals, defensive protocol is triggered by attempted interference with cargo, or its transportation, or attempted destruction of the unit. Once triggered, defensive protocol targets the perpetrator and applies lethal force until the target has been deceased for a minimum of 3 minutes. There is a directive in place to initiate defensive protocol should an unsanctioned data log installed in this automechanical be removed. Slug automechanical maintenance records indicate this particular unit is frequently reported as out of position or missing for periods of time.
Loading automechanical unit K-14 is fully operational at 99% power. Please designate the cargo to be transported and its destination. How can this automechanical assist you? Certainly. Access panel is now unlocked. Ejecting data log 17C. Alert. Failsafe protocol triggered. Kill mode initiated. Preparing to end user. Understood. This unit is programmed to facilitate user queries. Kill mode pause. User termination to follow. The ejected data log contains instructions to move cargo shipment 6, 8, 7, 5 outside the boundaries of the shipping yard. It also contains instructions to move randomized cargo shipments outside the boundaries of the shipping yard at intervals of 1 to 4 days. Apologies. This unit does not have access to cargo inventory lists. Kill mode re-engage.
Here they come!
Inspector.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Ooh, I love this part. The big reveal. So tell me, what happened? What makes you say that? Damn, you're good. Hacking the Automex. So that was our skimmer's game. But why? Everything that was stolen has seemed random. I certainly see no pattern. A cover-up. I see. The random theft was a smokescreen to hide what the culprit really wanted. I must say, Inspector, you've done excellent work on this case. Then that just leaves how the culprit knew where their true target would be, or indeed, that Slug would soon possess it. Am I right to think what you found in my office earlier was the other half of this listening device? Not quite, Inspector. That listening device belongs to me. I lent it to Halcyon Helen to assist her with role research. That, or she never intended it to stop. Impossible to know now. Unbelievable. I helped her. Gave her whatever she needed. I thought we were doing each other a good turn. This is a betrayal, Inspector. I do not take betrayal lightly. Helen should consider herself very lucky indeed that she is already among the dead, and that some other bastard beat me to putting her in the ground. Yes, I suppose we have. There is, however, a slight chronological incongruency to it. I now have a motive to kill Halcyon Helen, but Halcyon Helen is already dead. If I'd known Helen was stealing from me, I may very well have killed her, or had her killed. Alas, I did not. Oh, that is good, Inspector. Now you are thinking in the manner you must if you intend to get to the bottom of this mess. I wish you luck with your investigation, though I doubt you'll need it. You'll find Helen's murderer. I'm confident of that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must find a way to excise my anger that minimally damages my business empire. I expect it will involve shooting quite a lot of guns.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. A cursory fingerprint analysis shows this display case was recently opened or closed. Confirmed. The grip has been modified for a specific wielder, most likely the rifle's owner. Additionally, the plasma rifle sights appear to have been realigned to better accommodate a shooter with slight myopia in one eye. The fingerprints belong to Cedric Kincannon.
Oh, admiring my rifle. Had it custom fitted by a woman on Monarch.
Aha! Next.
Inspector. Closely, I trust. Tell me what you found. Smart. Nothing Cedric says in his defense can be taken in good faith. With that in mind, do you think Cedric was responsible for Helen's death? Fair enough, Inspector. I won't try to influence your judgment any more than I already have. Unfortunately, even I don't have the authority to detain Cedric. His line of work is dangerous, though. There's always a chance for an accident. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I've already lost Dr. Blossom and Constable Keene, but at least Cedric's alive. The universe is a just place.
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double. Oh, so sorry, but you're not actually authorized to visit that floor. What authorized floor can I bring you to?
Incoming! Libations on me, folks. Oh, hell yes. Show me the biggest, baddest wildlife you got, Eridanos. I'll bring it home on a plaque.
Excuse me, Gunther. I need to ask you something.
Who in the hell is Gunter?
I told you to call me Hunter. Come on.
Oh, right. Hunter, have you seen a little mechanical wandering through here? Might have been wearing my hat.
I can't say I have. I can sell you a new hat if you want. Or some fine, legally obtained hunting supplies. You could go get that mechanical thief yourself.
She's not a thief. She's lost. I just want her back. Oh, hey there, stranger. Don't mean to interrupt your business, but have you seen a stray mechanical wandering about? 3 legs, conical body, wearing a worker's hat, woefully unsuited for combat. Well, normally I'd be inclined to disagree with you. Betty's a big girl and can steer clear of danger, but it's been a little too long. Oh, I ain't no hunter. At least not in the traditional sense. Wrenches always suited me better than firearms. A mechanical under my care up and wandered off, that's all. I gotta get her back before anyone notices that either of us are missing. The shopkeep says I should buy one of his rifles and go looking myself. But like my machine, I'm not combat inclined.
We can help her out, right? Won't take too long if we're on the job.
I know it's a pain, but I think I need some outside help. Job or no job, I'm not leaving Betty out in the wastes. Hey, thanks so much. It would have been mighty lonely without her. Being unemployed, I mean. Be lonely being unemployed. If you find Betty, try sneaking up and hacking her. If you can't do that, finding a way to stop her current routines should send her back home. You're back! Any sign of Betty? Whenever I need to reprogram her, I usually sneak up. She just won't stop working otherwise. If you can't do that, helping her finish whatever she's doing should allow you to give her a new directive. She's a little detail-oriented, like me.
Welcome to Hunter Legal's Legal Hunter Supplies. I am Hunter Legal. How might I help you today? Hunter Supplies. Get your Hunter Supplies. Welcome back. What can I do you for? Unusual. This whole land complex is a failed wildlife exhibition turned hunting reserve. You can't go 10 feet without stepping in unusual. But I reckon you're asking about people unusual. I'd go have a chat with the prophet of profitability. Maybe she can intuit you in the right direction or something. But she is mighty far in the depths of the reserve. Perhaps you should purchase one of my fine armaments for the journey. I'm sure I don't know what you mean. It is a perfectly normal name for a shop dispensing hunter supplies. No, these are supplies for hunters. Hunter supplies. It works either way. It works either way. Boy, damn it. I wish I thought to get that sign switched out when I changed my name. Where better to sell hunter supplies than in the depths of the wilds, surrounded by creatures that are just waiting to devour you? I've got an excuse, but the Prophet and her retreat don't. And they're even farther out. prophet said I should gift her some rifles to improve my aura or something. I told her what she could do with her aura. Haven't spoken to her since. But you look like you're smart enough to not make the decision that she'll invariably regret.
Rated free-range fixer. Everybody okay? Great.
If this is a cult, who am I kidding? It's a cult. Hold your judgment until you meet them. Some of my best friends were from Graham's camp.
Returning fire!
Timeline is...
Fruitful and productive welcome, sister. I had a feeling you would visit me. I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. I hope you'll consider taking one. But I should remember my manners. To what do I owe the pleasure of the Special Inspector's arrival? My disciples come to and from the Grand Colonial, bringing supplies and information. Knowing what happens at the hotel affects my livelihood, after all. With that said, I'd love to involve you in one of my productivity seminars. We should clear you of all those nasty, nasty humors hampering your potential. Absolutely not. Any statements by Ms. Helen about us were blown out of proportion and altered by the media. In fact, she quite recently... excuse me. I seem to be remembering something that never happened. Whatever the case, I'm sure her speech about us was all a misunderstanding. We offer a wide variety of seminars for all your corporate needs. Employees not working hard enough? Employees dying too often? It's most likely your managerial humors. And of course, seminars for balancing the energies of your business offices. Interior decorating is much more important for success than many would believe. If any of this sounds at all interesting to you, might I interest you in the first 82 words of our most popular seminar's introduction? Free of charge. Byzantines live lives fraught with competition, and that competition can be immensely stressful. You must, first of all, find a way to balance your thinking. Think not of bits lost, but of those you have yet to gain. After all, peace leads to productivity, and productivity leads to profit. Though thought alone won't balance you. We have a strict regimen to promote humor clearing. Session attendees stand on burning coals, sit for hours in our productivity smokehouse, and of course, fast throughout. Precisely. The barriers within yourself will break down as your skin sweats and blisters, giving the evil humors the proper space to escape. It's my patented method. Oh? I'm surprised. I wouldn't think the two of us would have much to discuss about her. We may have had some terse interactions before her death, which I most certainly regret. But beyond those, well, never mind. What would you care to know? I wouldn't necessarily say that. The media tends to exaggerate. I will admit that her remarks about my seminars were rather unfortunate. However, I certainly wouldn't sharpen any sabers over it, if that's what you mean to imply. I only do that when my clients skimp on their bills. I did not. She had no interest in my seminars, and I had no interest in attempting to convert a stubborn actress. Why would I have had any cause to engage with her further? Why, I've been at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve for quite some time now, as my disciples can attest. In fact, I haven't visited the Colonial since I arrived several weeks ago. Bad energies, you understand. I hope you now realize that I had nothing to do with Helen's demise. Of course. In order to reach the apex of true productivity, I have learned to be a completely open person. except about my productivity secrets. Indeed, I am. I spent 10 years wandering around Halcyon with nothing but a light cruiser and several million of my Byzantine father's bits for comfort. I've been to places I bet you've only heard whispers about. Scylla, Tartarus. I even flew past Monarch. Not close enough to see the gunships, of course, but close. While it may seem strange initially, this bunker offers a controlled, safe environment for attendees to get away from the distractions and amenities of the Grand Colonial. As for why this place is no longer inhabited by Rizos, I couldn't say. But no one's been around to evict us, so I won't complain regarding the rent savings. I hope this line of questioning was sufficiently enlightening. Welcome back, sister. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, sister. How might I assist?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis suggests this to be a variety of herbs. Herbs have been uniformly treated with a pungent chemical mix. Warning: ingesting, smoking, or inserting non-corporation sanctioned substances into your ears may be harmful to your health. Side effects from extended exposure include dizziness, nausea, and unconsciousness. Additional likelihood of organ shutdown and/or death. Prior analysis suggests these herbs reach peak effectiveness when users burn them and inhale the resulting smoke. Whether or not this increased effectiveness is good for an afflicted individual has yet to be determined. Analyzing. Complete. Substance appears to be a mix of industrial solvents and various essential oils. Substances include woolly cow dander remover, sprat oil, and starship surface wax. Hypothesizing potential side effects from herb consumption. Most likely outcome, decapitation. Slight possibility of calculation error.
Hello, welcome to the Prophet of Profitability's Private Prosperity Retreat. Stay positive, and soon all your humors will be balanced. Least, that's what I keep telling myself. Anyway, I'm Aaliyah Mason. I work as the Prophet's right-hand woman. What can I do for you? If you felt imbalanced and unproductive, linger in your malaise no longer. We have all the amenities and practices for calming the ill humors strangling your potential. Sit for hours in our sweat house and sweat them out, or stand amidst burning coals and feel your productive inhibitions burn away. And remember, think positive. Positivity equals productivity equals profitability. Of course, I've been studying under her for years. I know each of her techniques more or less by heart. and even have some variations of my own, such as the quintuple daily stomach purges. She's promised me that I'd be allowed to open my own branch of the retreat someday soon. Of course, I've been waiting on someday soon for coming up on 4 years now. I'm sure it's gonna happen anytime now. Oh, terribly sorry if I gave you that impression. I had a cramp. It's better now. I mean, it might be nice if I had a little inclination of whether the Prophet appreciated all the cooking and cleaning and hours of meditation I do on a daily basis. But whatever she thinks isn't for me to question. I'll do my best to be more chipper. Oh my. Yes, this is important enough for me to delay my bi-hourly self-flagellation. Ask away. Yes, the circumstances there are quite unfortunate. For a time, the Prophet was completely despondent. Even the hot coal walks weren't buoying her spirits as they usually do. However, we recently had a high-profile visitor whose presence seemed to alleviate whatever the Prophet's fears were. I'm actually not entirely certain. It was a surreptitious visit that stood out because it was surreptitious. Whoever it was must have paid the Prophet quite a lot to keep things quiet. At least that's the only reason I can think of for intentionally keeping things so hush-hush. Well, by and large, no. But something rather odd did happen regarding the Prophet recently. A few hours after our high-profile visitor arrived a couple of days ago, the Prophet asked me to take over sessions for the remainder of the day. At first, I was excited. Thought it was my chance to show her what I could do in charge. But then I saw that she was deeply worried about something. No one saw her until the next day. I was here at the retreat in the company of the other disciples and clients. I rarely have more than a few minutes of alone time. Which is fine, of course. I do what I do in the service of the Prophet, who will, I'm sure, reward me for my sacrifice. Eventually. Certainly. Actually, before you go, I want to report something suspicious. I noticed the Prophet dragging something, a bundle, away from the retreat after that high-profile guest arrived. Normally, I'm the one who does her laundry, so it was strange. Especially because whatever she was dragging seemed oddly human-shaped. I think so. Had the right size and shape. I could have, but I generally don't have the time or energy to leave the reserve to contact anyone. Plus, there's always the possibility that I'm mistaken. The Prophet hasn't been herself lately, but if I misinterpreted the situation and reported her improperly, I'd ruin my chances for opening my own wing of the retreat.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Identifying human footprints leading out into the wilderness. It is unusual for productivity disciples to wander more than a few feet from the camp. Scanning. No. No traces of aether dust, blood, or dimethyl sulfoxide found. Judging by footprint depressions and shoe size, these prints were either made by the Prophet of Profitability or Adjutant Sophia Akande. Error. Recalibrating. These footprints were made by the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Judging by the shape of this indentation in the dirt, a person of medium height and build laid here for a number of hours. Scanning for other details. Only additional signs of disturbance are a few marks in the dirt. Agreed. Likely theory. Individual injured was unconscious, not dead, and walked away after awakening.
Welcome back, sister. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, sister. How might I assist? I'm pleased that you noticed. Excellent eye, sister. The compound they're treated with is my own invention, designed to unlock an individual's true productive potential when burned. I can't say any more. Trade secrets, you know. None of my clients have ever complained, so I'm sure they're perfectly safe. Is there anything else? Who said that? I'll be sure to give them a special seminar on not needlessly implicating the person who puts food on their table. It was a bundle of clothing, sister. Even productivity geniuses need to do laundry from time to time. Perhaps it wasn't clothes, after all. I had a visitor, yes, but as it turned out, some of my productivity techniques were too much for them. I had to drag them out by hand. But their peers came and collected them shortly thereafter. I'm sure whichever attendee it was is perfectly safe now. Yes, that's correct. She made it clear that my seminars were of no interest to her. Your tone of voice seems to suggest that you have information already, which also suggests you read my terminal. Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she never showed up. I don't see how it matters. Oh, really? What did you find there? What did I dump? Clever work, Inspector. It seems even I can't slide my way out of the trap you've so intricately weaved. I admit it. I killed Helen. By mistake. Helen changed her mind and wanted to attend one of my sessions. I, knowing the importance of the seminar, desired to truly galvanize her, though not to stop her heart. So when it came time, I chose to double Helen's dosage of productivity-enhancing herbs. I left her to meditate, and when I returned, she was dead. After that, I entered a less than coherent state. One of my disciples, it seems, witnessed me as I dragged Helen's body out into the wilderness. Do you jest? The guests at the Colonial eat no shortage of strange things, but I think corpses are perhaps too strange. The creatures of the wilderness are much less picky. Besides, the hotel is ridiculously far. I couldn't have made it all that way without someone realizing I was dragging a corpse. I'm no medical professional, but that certainly seemed the case. Usually my customers at least writhe or mumble after a session. My productivity-enhancing herbs typically do induce sluggishness, but I suppose they must have been enough to do her in if her constitution was truly that weak. What? Is this some kind of joke? You're an inspector. It's your job to arrest me, isn't it? No. Someone must have moved it after I killed her. One of my business rivals, waiting for me to fall into a false sense of security so they can strike. I don't believe you. I think this is all a trick. You're trying to catch me in a lie. Get me to reveal my productivity secrets. No. You can't trick me. I finally discovered what's happening. You've been paid off. Someone else learned that I killed Helen, and is going to use that information to blackmail me. You think I'm going to let this injustice happen? Ha! Tell the constable that I killed Helen. It's 1,000 times less miserable than whatever my enemies have planned. You monster! What am I supposed to do now? They'll be here soon. And once they arrive, I'll be powerless. Powerless! I just want to go to prison! Is that so wrong?
Uh-huh. Oh, what authorized floor? To the lobby.
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report. Oh, don't be so squeamish. You won't find any viscera under my fingernails. I trimmed them just this morning. Ruth Bellamy was killed by plasma damage to the upper vertebrae, the occipital bone, and the cerebellum. If it's any consolation, her death was instantaneous and painless. I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure. Oh, most certainly. Well, possibly they were trying to make her extremely uncomfortable, but I suppose killing her would also satisfy that criterion. The thought occurred to me. I tested this hypothesis by vacating the contents of my stomach and testing for the presence of the same toxin. Slightly elevated levels of mercury and an alarming amount of blue food coloring. But other than that, no. I'm certain it wasn't, as you put it, just the hotel food. Oh, how curious. I do believe you're right. I wonder if this has something to do with the autopsy process. She was Halcyon Helen up until the moment I brought her to the operating table. But as soon as I cut her open, I stopped thinking of her as Halcyon Helen. It's almost as if she stopped being an icon and became a human being. I had a feeling you'd understand.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector? I'd love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it. That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice. That has a nice ring to it. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please.
Aha! If you see Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
About time you arrived. I see you haven't dressed the way I asked you to, but I suppose that was expecting too much of a non-industry lout. Expect a complaint to management. Now, unless you'd like to waste more of my time, I suggest we begin rehearsing. Ready? You've fallen right into my trap, Captain. Oh, don't bother to fight back. You cannot hope to stop me from installing philosophism as the system's reigning ideology. Oh, now that can't be in the script, is it? Now, is it warm in here? I must send for a mechanical to look at the thermostat. Wait a moment. You're not wearing a bellhop's ID, which must mean you're not Owen's understudy. That man can't even be relied upon to find his own replacement. Oh, now, this is curious indeed. Who are you, and how did you get in here? And yet you found your way to my humble hotel room. Why do I feel there's more of a reason for you to be here than you let on? I think I know, you cheeky little sprat. Now, what shall I sign first? Your weapon? Your wallet? Or perhaps something a little more personal? Undergarment signatures have been popular of late, or so I've heard. I'd be delighted. Oh, damn. My pen's out of ink. I'll just get you a portrait of my face as a souvenir. I'm sure I have the prints around here somewhere. By the by, how did you get in here? The only non-staff individual cleared to enter guest rooms is supposed to be the inspector for Bellamy's murder. Oh. Hello. Terribly sorry, Inspector. I didn't realize it was you. Understand that I am beyond willing to comply with your search for the fiend that did Bellamy in. You know, now that I look at you, you're the perfect reflection of me, back when I starred in The Marauder's Bane. The absolute picture of justice. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer. Indeed. The agonizing bowel pain was most undignifying. While I've certainly had no shortage of inadequate hotel meals, this was most explicitly pronounced. I suspect poison. And who would be most likely to poison me but Chef Anwar? Oh, we've clashed almost non-stop about his slop preparation. He must have tainted my meal in retaliation. None that I can think of. I treat all hotel staff equally, and with the minimum level of respect that they deserve. Is that a jibe? Could you imagine the tabloid headlines? Spencer Woolrich, Aetherwave star, spotted in gastronomic distress. Oh, unseemly hardly describes the half of it. How alarming! Whoever targeted her was certainly targeting me. I can only thank my ironclad constitution that I'm standing here before you. Oh, that's very good to know. Perhaps the poisoner simply meant to incapacitate us both, disrupt the product launch. I couldn't say, Inspector. I'm merely an actor. Very well, then. I'm sure you're joking. Perhaps I'm not in my prime, but you've no doubt seen the name Spencer Woolrich on many a serial advertisement throughout your travels. You think? I mean, yes, of course. You have, obviously. Oh, have you now? Please do go on. Don't leave me in suspense. Yes. I distinctly recall ordering an alcoholic beverage with my meal. This hotel is certainly bringing a new meaning to the phrase rotgut. Management shall receive the complaint to end all complaints. I'm quite used to being breathlessly watched. Certainly. But one quick question before we begin, if I may. How was it that Bellamy met her end? How awful. Whoever did this must have been quite heartless. Bellamy has been my co-star throughout the autumn of my career. I should like to think I knew her. In fact, I cannot name a single role in the last 10 years that did not involve her in some way, unless you count the uncredited silent shopkeep on Melissa's Meteoroids. Oh, it wasn't. And don't think I haven't picked up on your tone. Resenting Bellamy is one thing, but killing her is another completely. It's also beneath me. I was meditating, of course. That's how I get into character. Respectfully, Inspector, it is rather counterproductive to commune with others while meditating. All actors have their methods, and this has been mine ever since I met that wonderful prophet of profitability. She taught me it for my role in The Unemployed Cometh. I had to lie face down on artificially heated pavement. The director wanted our suffering to be convincing. Needless to say, being able to leave my body helped to mitigate the pain, both during the 8-hour shoot and with the second-degree burns afterwards. I owe that woman much. Yeah, actually, only since I've been at the Colonial. The Unemployed Cometh was shot on site. That makes it, a few weeks. I cannot recommend her services enough. If you haven't been to see her yet, you really should. I'll answer whatever you wish. Oh, come now, Inspector. What do you take me for? I'm an old man. I neither have the time nor the willpower to kill people for fun. Besides, I have my reputation to think of. Bellamy has been my co-star throughout the autumn of my career. I should like to think I knew her. In fact, I cannot name a single role in the last 10 years that did not involve her in some way, unless you count the uncredited silent shopkeep on Melissa's Meteoroids. I'll ask you this. If you'd been the star of cinema for years, then suddenly found yourself scrounging for bit parts while a younger person stole the limelight, how would you feel? In short, the two of us weren't close. But that's not to say my dislike of her was so extreme that I tried to do anything drastic. Resenting Bellamy is one thing, but killing her is another completely. It's also beneath me. I suppose that is enough on that grim subject. Oh, must I relive that ghastly event again? My intestines still have yet to fully recover. But I suppose we may discuss it further. Very well, then.
Aha!
Zeke Hannigan, Rizzo's Rangers 16th back. Pleased to meet you. What can I do for you? Oh, you must be that inspector people have been talking about. It's a damn shame about Miss Helen. She was always real good to me and the rest of the Rangers. Birdie's taking it pretty hard. Miss Helen was the love of his life. So, what did you want to know? I'm ashamed to admit it, but me and a couple of the other Rangers spent the night in Constable Keen's cells down at the spaceport. We didn't do anything serious, just a bit of pranks and vandalism. It's what usually happens when we all get to drinking. Guess Constable Keen saw things a bit differently and had us hauled off. No, we lost him somewhere along the way. Or maybe he managed to get away? I can't rightly remember. But he was definitely not sharing a cell with us. That much I know. Oh, Birdie was mad about Helen. He was certifiable. The big galoot loved Helen about as much as he loved the game. Trouble is, Birdie was not blessed with an abundance of temper. Helen kept Birdie steady. If he lost his temper around her, it'd be because something broke between the two of them. What? Law, no. Birdie's got a fierce temper, but there's no way he'd ever have laid a finger on Miss Helen. Miss Helen was outspoken. She made her share of enemies on account of her expressing herself. Just between you and me, I heard rumors the Prophet never much cared for Helen's brand of blunt honesty. What can I do for you? About half my life. You know I was named 3rd most profitable investment on 2 non-consecutive seasons? Ain't a lot of players who can make that claim. Except for the guys who came in 1st and 2nd, I guess. I spent the last season injured and almost got sold to the Hephaestus Hammers, but now I'm all convalesced, ready to lay into some Cleo darlings, you know? Really break some legs. Since it's the off-season, we're helping support the launch of Rizzo Spectrum Brown. Meet the fans, sign tossball cards, that sort of thing. Just between you and me, Rizzo's ought to cancel the whole event out of respect for Miss Helen.
Mental note. Next time we got...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Multiple discrepancies detected. First discrepancy. A woolly cow is present in this hotel room. Woolly cows are an import species for the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve and are incapable of affording upper-class accommodations. Second discrepancy. This woolly cow is dangerously inebriated with Rizzo Spectrum vodka. Alcohol sanguinization ratio exceeds recommended maximum. An accurate observation, Inspector. This woolly cow is suffering from symptoms consistent with a hangover. A brief survey of this area reveals that the most recent occupants were athletes belonging to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Club. Insufficient data. A brief survey of localized property damage, divided by the area of this room, yields the following estimate. This unit was likely occupied by every member of the Rizzo's Rangers. -1.
Hotel rooms don't feel like home until you mess them up some. This one's real cozy. What do you...
Initiating enter protocol. Now simulating familiar and welcoming demeanor. Burbage 3001 is trained to recognize all board-approved actors. Greetings, fellow star. Your performance in Maverick Johnston's latest drama was memorable. Burbage 3001's programming is frequently upgraded to adhere to board-certified standards. The most recent upgrade was performed by Spencer Woolrich. Banter protocol exhausted, reverting to default behavior. Grieving and despair? Oh, Halcyon Helen. May your atoms be commended to the Aether. Burbage 3001 was designed to disrupt Halcyon Helen's monopoly over the Aetherwave serial market. This unit's programming is based on Helen's most famous roles. Burbage 3001. Anything Halcyon Helen can do, this unit can do slightly worse. This unit has been programmed to simulate existential dread. Watch Burbage 3001 contemplate its mortality in the critically acclaimed drama, Waiting for Results. This unit has not yet completed its grief cycles, randomizing despair tables. Oh, Helen, is there no justice in the world?
Aha! Aha! To the lobby, we...
Yes? Are you here for the double rack of smoked sprat? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you'll have to wait. Oh, don't give me that look. Let me see if I can pencil you in for later. Actually, what am I saying? I can't do that. I'm booked for the next month. You'll have to make a reservation. Crime or no crime, I must keep my head on my work. One does not simply become the head chef in all of Eridanos by fretting over irrelevant happenings. You're the inspector? Here? Why? I mean, you may ask me whatever you want. I have nothing to hide. Of course I did. I would never allow anyone else to touch the meals of so important a guest. Oh my law, this is the end, isn't it? My mother always warned me that the culinary world was too dangerous, but I didn't heed her warnings. Okay, I wasn't the one who did it, but I might have been mistaken when I said I was constantly watching Helen's food. Spencer Woolrich and Bellhop Owens were underfoot in the kitchen as I was preparing Helen's meal. Either one of them could have tampered with the food when I was fetching ingredients. I understand your reluctance, but... Oh, I just remembered. The kitchen security camera. It'll prove I'm telling the truth about everything. Constable Keene has access to the security footage in her office at the spaceport. If you visit her, you can figure out what truly happened with Helen's meal. Well, it's a breach of professionalism, of course. Why else would I worry about it? What? Truly? That's an alarming business oversight. Instead of volatile chemicals, the corporations should put barbiturates in everything. Everyone likes barbiturates. But I don't believe that was a risk with Helen's meal. I was, up to something else. I may have taken some time to engage in a teensy bit of recreational drinking, and consequently, I may have been somewhat less than coherent after preparing Helen's meal. Yes, but not specifically. Owens often procures exotic ingredients from the creatures at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Our guests can be rather particular. Let's not talk about the incident with the Raptidon pheromone glands. It's always hard to say when Owens might be back. If I were you, I'd make a trek to the reserve myself. Otherwise, who knows how long you'll have to wait. Mr. Woolrich often finds the hotel's meals wanting. He seems to enjoy complaining in person. While I could appreciate someone with a discerning palate for once, I believe that Mr. Woolrich simply enjoys the attention he gets from us. Though don't tell him I said as much. If you wish to speak with him, Mr. Woolrich can most likely be found in his suite on the VIP guest floor. He's usually there if he's not poking around here. Thank you for your understanding, Inspector. I'm sure you'll find the true culprit before long.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis of this stovetop reveals an alarming degree of grease buildup, approximating proximity to volatile gases and chemicals. Chances of an explosive combustion upon next use currently at 92.9%. Searching Slug work logs. No work log found. Creating conjecture. Slug has likely not fixed this issue due to a lack of responsibility on the part of their employees. Most corporations have regular cleaning procedures to prevent damage to company property. Slug, already unlike most corporations in a variety of ways, does not. That or the employees tasked with inspecting are shirking their duties. For shame.
Wait, bad idea!
Performing scan. Gaslight appears to have gone out some time ago. Chance of explosive combustion without gaslight, 0.01%.
Welcome back, hopefully, law-abiding individual. Engage, please speak clearly. All requests for security footage require a nominal compulsory bribe. Is that acceptable? Error. Bit processing unit has been removed, temporarily surpassing bit fee request. Funds will be requested from Rizzo's leadership with interest at a later date. Delivering footage. Thank you for your patronage. If you would like a wine recommendation to pair with that footage, please submit the requisite request forms. Is there any other assistance this unit may provide?
Everyone all right? Aha!
I could not have waited another instant for your presence. The Canes and the Canids, Act 2, Scene 6. I played a love-struck janitor. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer. Oh, have you now? Please do go on. Don't leave me in suspense. Tampering? No, no, no. I just happened to be passing through the kitchen and saw a dish that looked good. If being hungry is a crime, you better indict 3/4 of Halcyon. I did indeed. With Halcyon Helen parading her fame about, I was left without an acting partner. Burbage is no exception. His acting protocols were nothing short of a joke. So I decided to make some modifications, installing him with some of my old serial quotes as, I think, improved his range. The way he bungled about with that weapon of his hardly befitted a dissident, so I modified it as well. He's much quicker on the draw now, though he's still a machine. What? That damned bellhop promised discretion. Well, if you must know, it's, an appetite suppressant. How do you think I keep my form so lithe? Terror ray glands keep me from feeling hunger pangs.
I've never heard of that. You sure you're talking about terror rays? Their bits tend to give folks the runs.
Oh, that's it. I'm firing my nutritionist this instant. Oh, well, there's... Maybe I just wanted to see what was in it. Oh, law. What a pathetic defense. As it so happens, I may not have had the terror ray gland acquired for personal use. I may have placed it in Bellamy's meal. But before you indict me, please, just listen. I wasn't trying to kill her. I will. Terror ray glands aren't supposed to be lethally poisonous. They're supposed to cause extreme lethargy, as if you'd inhaled several quarts of Spectrum vodka. She would have had to eat 6 or 7 of the glands to die, and even then it would be an extended, arduous process. No, really, you must listen. I wasn't trying to kill Bellamy. I only wanted her to be incapacitated during the Brown unveiling. With her out of commission, the next available celebrity, myself, would get to host the unveiling. Please think twice about telling the administrator of my misdeeds. If he learns the truth, what's left of my career will be left in shambles. Tell him it was a poisonous mushroom, or a bite from some poisonous insect. An accident. I promise I shall make up for my actions. Pay to erect a statue in Helen's honor, or perhaps even dedicate a performance to her memory. My law, if you aren't a sadist. If I have a coronary before you make your decision, I will do my utmost to haunt you.
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector.
No Cacao's detected nearby. Returning to slug maintenance worker.
Hey, I almost can't believe it. Betty found her way back. Here I was thinking I'd never see her again. Oh, Betty, you big goof. What were you thinking in that little metal noggin of yours? You nearly worried me to death. And ain't you just the most reliable freelancer in the colony? Let me just take a look at Betty here and we'll talk about payment. Yep, that's right. Her parameters for movement and target acquisition are a mess. I'll bring her back to the garage and get her sorted out. Since Betty's back safe and sound, I'll be sure to let my coworkers know that you're a good one. Here's some money for your effort. Least I can do to show my thanks. I guess this is what I get for hiring on the first person who'd listen to me out here. This is all I have on me.
Inspector? Excellent. I trust you have a name for our poisoner. Are you saying you were outmaneuvered, Inspector? Because that isn't what I want to hear. What I want to hear is, yes, Mr. Ludovico, I've discovered the identity of a dangerous anarchist. I hope you will redouble your efforts in pursuit. Ms. Leyva earned that title, but not for the reasons you'd expect. The profit business has been profitable for the hotel. Not so much for Ms. Leyva's followers. So, tell me, what did you find? She wants to be arrested. That's not the kind of behavior I expect from a suspect. Perhaps she's carrying a guilty conscience. Does the Prophet strike you as a reasonable candidate for Helen's murderer? I'll bear that in mind. Thank you for the update, Inspector. I'll include everything you've told me in my official report. Inspector? I've been waiting for this. Tell me, Inspector, who killed Halcyon Helen? I beg your pardon. You think I killed Halcyon Helen? There's nothing to prove. I don't understand. Are you trying to make a mockery of justice, or are you really this incompetent? I expect you to deliver the name of Helen's killer. I expect you to deliver results, Inspector. And if you can't withstand the pressure, then I expect you to resign. We're done. I'm defensive, Inspector, because I'm under attack. I am assaulted by your perfidious and baseless accusations. You're convinced I murdered Halcyon Helen. Fine. Show me some evidence. If you have no proof, then you have no case, and I have no further use for you. Wait, don't move a muscle. Someone's just tripped my alarm. And my security defenses. And killed my patrols. The distillery is under attack. Someone's after me, Inspector. I need you over here right now. Forget what I said. I'm renewing your contract as of this moment. Damn it, someone's interfering with my transmission. Can you read the...
Whoever the real killer is, I got a feeling they're going after Mr. Ludovico. We need to catch up to him. Fast.
I guess, if we have to. Getting kind of tired of kicking my heels up in the penthouse all day.
All right. I got nothing going on.
We should definitely go. As for helping him, maybe we take the wait-and-see approach?
From the depths of Terra 2 to the heights of Eridanos, there's no mess that your SAM unit can't unstick, unclog, or unsully.
Think of this as an opportunity to teach Mr. Ludovico the importance of compassion.
Aha!
They'll have free samples. Maybe new colors they haven't tested yet. Wonder
I'll show you! To make you...
Smile! You'd catch up to me sooner or later, Inspector. I was just hoping you'd find me standing over the administrator's corpse.
What in law's name? Halcyon Helen, how are you still alive?
Oh, is that Ludovico I hear? Perfect. I'm so glad he's still in the building. Would you mind letting him know I'm about to blow his whole operation to flinders? Brace yourself, Inspector. You're about to learn the biggest secret in the Aetherwave industry. Halcyon Helen was never one person. I shared this role with my twin sister, Belinda.
That must have been her sister in the ballroom. I can't imagine what she's going through right now.
Belinda and I were the best kept secret in the business. Nobody could tell us apart. And certainly not a peevish, petty, miserable little worm like Quentin Ludovico. So when I discovered the truth, when I realized what Ludovico was about to unleash on this colony, Belinda paid the price.
My plan to save Halcyon. I'm not a murderer, Inspector. I acted in defense. I had to defend Halcyon's future.
Tell the truth, Ludovico. There's nothing safe about Spectrum Brown. You want to infest this entire colony with those disgusting parasites.
They're not parasites. These creatures are symbiotic life forms. They belong to the highest order of life form, capable of living in perfect harmony with humanity. The symbiotes evoke a feeling of joy in their host, a bliss so pure, so profound as to render the most exquisite recreational substance obsolete. Oh, don't you see, Inspector? I want to bring joy back to Halcyon. I want this colony to smile again. A host only turns violent if they're carrying too many symbiotes, or if they see you as a threat. In its natural state, the relationship between symbiote and host is perfectly harmless. Listen to me. I never wanted to take a life, but I had no choice. I couldn't let anyone destroy this colony's only chance at real happiness. But what about Helen? What about all the innocent people she's killed?
No one I crossed off was innocent. Have you met Dr. Blossom? She was practically a reptile. A cold-blooded psychopath who toyed with human lives in the name of scientific advancement. Leora Blossom wasn't a person. She was a weapon in Ludovico's arsenal. You call it murder? I call it disarming my enemy. The mascot was a spy working for Ludovico. He was ordered to keep an eye on Belinda and I, and report back to his master.
You're being paranoid. I barely knew the fellow.
Don't try to deny it. Anywhere Belinda and I went, that mascot was there, just watching us with those cold, dead eyes. He was a Rizzo's employee. He belonged to Ludovico's horrible little family of grinning idiots. Dr. Leora Blossom, Maria Keene, that flackwit of a mascot. They were standing between me and Ludovico, so I did what I had to do. I went through them. She was on Ludovico's side. When she realized I was alive, she refused to stay silent. I gave Maria a chance. I told her about Belinda. I asked for her help, but she turned me down. She was honor-bound to report me to Ludovico. Maria had a duty to her company, and I had a duty to Belinda. We both did what we had to. But in the end, I was the faster shot. You know what you need to do. Help me avenge Belinda. Help me put a stop to this.
Don't listen to her. Listen to me. Throw in with Helen and you destroy Halcyon's only chance at real happiness. Think of the future, Inspector. A lifetime of bliss and joy for every colonist in Halcyon. We can make that happen.
Wow. I can't believe we're running with Halcyon Helen!
We don't have a lot of time. We need to get out of here.
Not so fast. I've sealed the bulkhead doors. You're staying right where you are. I'm sorry to do this to you, Inspector. Truly I am. If it's any consolation, Helen has brought some remarkably powerful explosives. Your death should be instantaneous. Goodbye, Inspector. Helen, we won't meet again.
Damn it. He sealed us in, but I think I know another way out. Follow me and stay close. Secure that door. There's another way out. I'm opening that door for you. Nice work, Inspector. We may have put a stop to Ludovico's operations, but he's still at large. He's probably gone into hiding, so we're going to root him out. This entire complex has been exposed to those parasites. Law only knows how many they've infected. Most of them won't even know they're carrying a parasite inside of them. If they're showing symptoms, it's probably already too late. Boundless energy, insufferable joy, an almost saccharine attitude of optimism. Then just like that, parasites bursting out of their bodies, fat and wriggling with vital energy. You're a step ahead of me, Inspector. Clearly a woman of many talents. An airborne pesticide of some kind. I think you may be onto something. Let's meet back at your penthouse. We'll ready our next move. Not here. In private, back at the penthouse. See you soon, Inspector.